Hello and welcome to the Free Cheese episode 641. I'm your Joe Dix, joined by Matt Selner.
Hello.
The Free Cheese is a weekly video game podcast about video games brought to you once a week by thefreecheese.com. It is the beginning of our two-part season 13 finale. We've made it 52 episodes. We got a lot to dive into this week and next. This week, we'll look at 2025. We'll look at the games we played for the podcast and on the list. If you're not familiar with the list, that's thefreecheese.com/the list. It's every game we've played and ranked on this podcast over the last few years. We'll look at the biggest shakeups from top to bottom. And we'll, play some other weird nonsense with the list. We'll do some weird re-ranking and some stuff like that. Next week, come back and we'll talk about 2025 outside of the podcast. We'll look at some of the news highlights, games that we played that were not part of the podcast, and we'll do a platform check-in, see what's happening with all the major platform holders. Before we dive into our opening segment, Matt, what is a video game that we played for the list this year that you forgot about?
That I forgot about. It's probably something early.
Yeah, I had that too.
It's
And
probably
it's
something.
it's funny, like it's more like not that I forgot that we played it, but I forgot we played it this year. I kept thinking we played Gravity Rush this year, but that was last year. I did forget we played Flower this year. Um, I also forgot we played Anthem this year. Like
Yeah,
I know
Anthem.
that was this year, but
Anthem was the one we were doing our extracurriculars for this episode. That I was like, oh
yeah,
right, yeah, that okay.
yeah,
Um, Endless Ocean, like the games that weren't bad but just not in my wheelhouse. Like those were the
yeah,
ones I've kind of
yeah.
forgot about. Simulacra, that just felt like something I played 2 years ago. Don't know why.
That does, yeah. Because I played that one sitting in bed, and it was just here and gone.
Uh, yeah, those were
Not
probably.
forgettable. Just yeah. Well, we'll dive deep into the games from 2025 and season 13 in just a bit. But first, it's time for our annual tradition and Matt's favorite segment of the podcast finale, the list re-ranking. And I'm starting with this one because this might be the last one we do. I don't know. I didn't have a terrible time. You hate this, and I don't want to torture you year over
It's
year.
it's cute when it's like, it takes about half an hour. Now it's like
Yeah.
I did this over 2 hours between work.
Yeah, like I sent you, and I'm happy that your like browser didn't reset or anything stupid like that. I remember sending you a screenshot of my timer when I finished, and it was like
I
45 minutes.
I thought about timing it, but I knew it wouldn't be accurate representation because I was
In between.
monitoring other things that were going on.
Yeah. No, I was sitting there, I just put The Simpsons on in the background or something and just one at a time. What we're talking about, if you're unfamiliar, is the freecheese.com/list voting.html. Essentially, there was a GameFAQs best of games some 10 years ago or something. And somebody took that list and then took some voting system they found on a Japanese website and used that code, the JavaScript code, to build this tool. I reverse engineered the not reverse, I just pulled the code and changed it. I didn't reverse engineer anything. I mean, I get over dramatic here. I just changed the code so that we could have our own version of this. That instead of using the GameFAQs top whatever games, it uses the list. If you've not heard the podcast before, welcome. This is a great jumping on point to look back at what we've done this year. The list is arbitrary and it's week to week. So we sit down, we play a game, we spend an episode talking about that game. And then when we go to rank it, it's sort of just a gut feeling on where we both feel that week. In some cases, it makes a lot of sense and you end up with results that are like, yeah, that makes sense. Bully is worse than Quake 4. But then other times you put something on the list and you're like, you look back a while later and you're like, why did we put that so low or so high or
How
whatever?
did it get there?
Right. The other part of that too is this is Matt and I having to concede with one another. Not often, but sometimes. But we're at least like finding a way to agree. This voting tool allows us to, with our hearts, place the games where we believe they to be. But now that we're at 166 games, it takes a long time to complete this thing.
Also, now that we've done this a
Um,
few times, like you can easily see how the mathing and how this is
yep,
like breaking
yep,
down. So if you're, if you're on to how this is working, you know what number you're ranking without knowing the number either.
yeah. And it's getting. I was less like excited to look at my results this year than I have been in previous years, so I could feel the fatigue.
I shook things up a little bit on purpose just to get some different results.
Interesting. Well, I've got a couple of questions to guide us through these lists. We'll have our personal lists up on the website for this podcast. So check that out over at thefreecheese.com for this episode posting. What were your bottom 10 from 166 up to 157?
All right, to no one's surprise, Mortal Kombat Mythologies Sub Zero is the bottom of the list.
Mm-hmm.
And then coming up from that, Superman, the new Superman Adventures, Killzone, Blinks
Mm.
the Time Sweeper, Cool Spot, Halloween, Lifeline, ESPN X, ESPN X Games Skateboarding, Top Gear Rally, NBA Hang Time. I guess that's 10. That's 10. So 157 is NBA Hang Time.
Okay. We're close. It's funny. Like, I remember Lifeline coming up in mine, and I kept voting it higher than a bunch of things. And I was like, is Lifeline going to end up being like. No, my Lifeline was 146. From bottom up for me, I was surprised at some of these. Super Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back, System Shock,
Wow.
Halloween.
Okay.
I didn't expect System Shock. I didn't think that. Like, I don't. You know, I didn't love that game,
Oh, I
but
know.
I didn't expect it to be below Halloween, Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub Zero, Friday the 13th, Quake 4, Endless Ocean, Superman the New Superman Adventures, ESPN X Games at Skateboarding, and Halo Fireteam Raven.
Oh, Christ.
I
I have Halo Fireteam Raven above you, and you're the one I kind of likes that.
I don't know, man. This one got weird. Real weird. What is your middle of the list? What's your number 83?
83 is Outrun.
Outrun. Where's Outrun on mine? I got Outrun at number 30. My
Oh,
83 is I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream.
trying to find on my list. Sorry for the silence.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't do this in a good way, and I might apologize to you after the show because I should have copied this differently. Where?
Oh, I got no, all good.
Where? Oh, it's down. I had it. That's by 109.
All right, not bad. Not bad. Where's Devil's Crush?
The old. For those that are new, Devil's Crush used to be the North Star on this list for the longest time.
It was. That was our
Um,
guiding light, man. Is it better or worse than Devil's Crush?
man, I really screwed. Oh, I found it. 63. 63.
Interesting. I got it 35.
35. Ah, dang.
Now the other one, not so much a North Star, but more of a recurring injustice. Where is Metal Gear Solid 2?
Number 8.
Number 8. All right. Mine's 39.
Okay.
Right below Tokyo Jungle and above Luigi's Mansion. Finally, before we hit our top 10, where's Parasite Eve?
23.
23. So that is my number 8, actually. My 23 is Disaster Report 4 Summer Memories.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which is just above Metroid Other M.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell where you've got Metroid? I'm curious
26.
where Other M. 20.
Yeah, we're
Wow, that's
close.
nuts.
That's why I said I was like, oh yeah. Yeah, that got a
I
bump. I don't know. I don't know if recent events gave it the bump or not.
It might have, dude, because I was doing this. I don't know what night, but like right around the time I was nearing the end of Prime 4, and
Yeah,
I'm
the
like,
Pros Prime 4 world. It
yeah,
might have gotten the bump. I don't know.
yeah, you you dirtbags talk all this trash about Other M for 15 years. At least she talked.
Mm.
I know. All right, what's hit me with your top 10. What do we got?
Top 10. I'll go from 10 up.
Yeah, yeah.
Or down. 10. Start from 10. South Park, The Fractured Butthole at number 10. Quake 1 at number 9.
Mm-hmm.
As I just said, Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty is number 8. Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice is number 7. Doom 2016 is number 6. Tetris Effect Connected, number 5. Super Mario Galaxy 2 at number 4. Resident Evil 4 from 2023, the remake, is number 3. Undertale is my number 2, and Deus Ex is number 1.
Hey, that's new because I think Undertale was your number 1 last year, right?
Yes, yeah.
I did not pull my. I'll pull it up on the website and take a look. But my number 10, or my top 10, moving up. Am I looking at the right? I'm looking at the right list. It is number 10, Tokyo Extreme Racer 3. Number 9, Res Infinite. Parasite Eve. Super Mario Galaxy 2. Pokemon Gold and Silver. Number 5 is Halo Combat Evolved. 4 is Tetris Effect Connected. 3 is Wii Sports. 2 is Castlevania Rondo of Blood. And number 1, any guesses? It's the same as it was last year. And probably every year. Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed.
Oh, right. I'm like looking at my
Yeah.
top spoilers. I'm looking at my top 20, and I'm not seeing the game. I'm thinking.
Yeah. My top 20 started and ended with Sonic. My 20 was Sonic Frontiers, above Bomberman 93 and below Eco. So looking at last year, I did have Sonic at number 1, but Halo Combat Evolved was my number 2. You actually had Super Mario Galaxy 2 as your number 1. Sekiro was your number 2, and Undertale was your number 3. But yeah, good times.
Res Infinite
other...
for me was number 11, right on the cusp.
Right there. Monster Hunter Wild's my number 11, right above Suikoden. And then honestly, like, this was based on the voting and however we did that, but like, if I would have done this by gut, I feel like Suikoden would have been a little bit higher. I really ended up liking that game, like in retrospect, like thinking back to playing it or whatever. Yeah, any other weird call outs from doing this? Anthem is number 33 for me, above Titanfall 2 and below Snatcher.
What? Say that
Don't
one
know
more
what to
time.
do
What
with that.
numbers?
Anthem 33.
Oh yeah, no. Anthem was
Yeah.
lower on my list. I think. Maybe it was higher. I don't know. See,
I put Tears of the Kingdom where it belonged at 109, below Amplitude and
Christ.
above Super Strike Eagle.
Man, it's not that bad of a game.
It's not. It's just like disappointing.
I had
You know?
it. Tears of the Kingdom is my 34. Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed is my 33.
Nice. Where's
Funny,
Double Dash for you?
Double Dash. Funny enough, I know we both we ranked Mario Kart 8 underneath Sonic, but Mario Kart 8 is 29 for me.
Yeah. Ooh, Double Dash ended at 102 for me. That seems low.
Yeah, I can't find Double Dash, and that's kind of concerning where I'm starting to look.
If it makes you feel better, Mario Kart Double Dash is 102, where Billy Hatcher is 84. So, don't know what to do
Where are the
about that.
exclamation points at? Come on, where is it? I'll find her.
Get him.
58.
I've got
Shoo.
58. All right. My 58 was Ape Escape. Below
Ape,
Year Walk and above
Ape
Hypnospace.
Escape was 64 on mine, so similarities again.
It's interesting. I'll have to when I get your list, I'll have to look and see how far off we were
All right, well, speaking
on a
about
lot
far
of
off,
those.
System Shock's 12 on mine. Just fun to,
Yeah, that one's gonna be a little far.
yeah, just throwing it out
Yeah.
there. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I would say kind of looking at like my top 50, some games I gave some justice to. ESPN NFL
Hmm.
football 16. Um,
Yeah,
Other that
that
got a
deserves
bump to
mention.
26. I don't think that's a huge one, but um, that got a bump. Um, Guardian Legend comes in at the top of my top 50 at number 49.
Oh yeah, that's a good game. That hit 56 for me.
Yeah, then there's some expected fall offs from again just like my personal taste. Like Pokemon Gold and Silver is 41 for me.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like it's high for me in this ranking. Like, there's some stuff I might have bumped up.
Um, where do your Quake and Quake 2 fall?
Quake is 13, and Quake 2 66, below Ib and above Portal 2.
Hot dang. I didn't, I thought I was going to spawn the question and do what I did last year and keep them like, I can't make up my mind, but it didn't. The
Oh
list didn't
yeah,
fall that way. Quake 1 is at
that's
9,
also
as I
probably
said. Quake 2 is at 21 for me.
okay. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. We'll see. We're down on this now, but in a year, we might be getting to November-ish, and you're like, dude, you know what? I'm actually really excited to do re-rank the list now that we've got 210 games on it. Maybe.
Was there a game? I
Maybe.
guess we see them equally, but was there one you just felt like you just kept seeing and you were like, go away? And to be fair, I don't know if I have an
Um,
answer to that myself, but
there was, but I don't remember it. The way that like that voting tool works, however that it's programmed, like you end up where like it'll get stuck in a loop where it's like, what do you think of this or this? And you're like, I like A better. And it's like, okay, well, do you like A better than C, D, E? And the more you keep voting on it, you're just kind of seeing it until you're like, nah, it, that one's better, and then it flops. So I definitely had some of those as I was going throughout. Some of them it's easy just to hammer. It's like, yes, Rondo of Blood is the correct answer. But others, it was just like it would keep something on the like. I kept declining that I liked it better, but it would keep it there anyway. I think Mortal Kombat was an early one that did that. Killzone was popping up pretty early, regular, I
dude, I
think.
every time I saw Killzone, I just saw a brown screen. Just like no, I just saw brown, and
Yeah,
I couldn't do it.
just don't even know what happened to the computer. Where am I?
Where did Simone trademark S Quest land for you?
Oh yeah, did not like
I don't know
the
why.
apostrophe S in Simon's Quest. Simon's Quest ended up at 48 for me. What about you?
119.
And where do we have it on the actual list?
That is a great question.
It's down there, I think. Maybe not. It's 74. So not too far off. Yeah. Well, if you are curious about where your rankings lie, I recommend going and checking it. Look, it's a fun, dumb thing just to see if you're looking at any of these games and you're like, I don't know what I like better. It's a fun thing to play around with. So that's thefreecheese.com/listvoting.html.
If you do it, I do recommend trying to be very strict with yourself and doing at either A or B, and try to reserve
Yeah.
those I feel equalies at like maybe a 5 at maximum, like a real
Yeah.
lifeline or
You'll end up with too
rarity.
many things like tying.
Yeah, you'll have like a list of 7, like at number 74, you'll have a list like 15 games. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just not. Then you jump from 74 to 89, and it gets all weird.
Yeah, it's too much. Well, that is where we re-rank using the science of the heart. But the other fun thing we like to do when we re-rank is look at math. Um, so we put review scores on all of these every year, or every episode, I should say. Matt and I each write up a little blurb. We've got a score that goes along with it on a 1 to 10 point scale. Um, well, like it's a 0.5 scale, you know what I mean? But it's all the way up 1 through 10 with half steps along the way. But those review scores are just what they are. They have no meaning on the ranking. The ranking is purely what we decide week over week based on our art in the moment. So this is the one time a year where reviews matter, and we do some re-ranking. So I've done some re-ranking, and I've got some results. I've got a couple things kind of to call out here, just interesting stats, and we'll look at sort of what ended up being bottom and top and whatnot. Call out some other random ones, and then we'll move into the list properly and discuss some of these episodes. So based on math, we had 6 games that stayed exactly where they were. One of them keeps staying exactly where it was, like year over year. This one never moves whenever we do the math, and I don't understand why. But I guess just its review score average, I don't know. That one's ESPN NFL football. Stayed exactly where it always stays at number 123. The other ones that didn't move: NBA Hangtime, Chameleon Twist 2, Toe Jam and Earl, Device 6, and Pikmin 3. Pikmin 3 staying right at 23. Not a shift at all. A couple of these obviously are going to have like a couple point difference. Some of these are going to have very large jumps. I captured 5 that had more than 40, yeah, greater than 45 positions moved on the list. I should call out that like Guitar Man, Mario Kart Double Dash, Musha, they all had 45, exactly 45 places they moved. But past that, we had a couple others. So it was Downwell, I believe, had the greatest shift. That moved 61 places from 29 down to 90 based on our review scores. Deadly Premonition moved 55 places from 64 down to 119, which that makes sense. I think we were pretty honest about our review
Yeah.
scores on that, but it's more than just what the score is, right? Eco moved from number 15 to 65,
That's another.
which that one I think always takes a good dip
Yeah,
because we
the
have
the first one you mentioned and Eco. What was the first one? I forgot it that fast.
Downwell.
Downwell. I killed both of those games.
Um, you weren't that far off on Downwell, but I guess back then
Downwell
the
I
review
played
math
on
is a little different.
mobile. And that was my downfall of that game.
Yeah, you're down well with that game. The next 2 that had pretty significant jumps were Resident Evil 6 and 5. So we both reviewed them kind of middling. Um, but our heart ranking, the list ranking is a little bit higher. So 6 dropped from 78 to 128, and Resident Evil 5 dropped from 62 to 109. Yeah, kind of a wild jump. In terms of like lifts, Tasmania jumped from 126 to 185. Um, Game Dev Story from 113 to 73. Outrun from 91 to 52. Not a Yearwalk had a pretty good jump from 48 to 19.
That's one in the past that's jumped too.
Yeah. Devil's Crush moves out from 125 to 98 when you do some math on it. Snatcher ends up at 71 from 95. So there's some movement. Metal Gear Solid 2 becomes 46 instead of 70, so not a bad jump. Um, based on math, again, of these review scores, the top 10: Tetris Effect, Connected, Wii Sports, Hotline Miami, Doom 2016, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, Halo Combat Evolved, South Park The Fractured But Whole, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Deus Ex, and Quake. It just seems like
Love that
it's
we're
not too far off.
love we're
Huh?
in a world that South Park's better than Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Yep.
This is the
I
correct
think that
timeline.
was. No, there wasn't. I give it a 9.8. You had a 9.5 on that one. Well, I'll be. I thought I tanked that one. I tanked some other ones, though. I tanked Quake. This is back when we were doing the 5-point review scale. Or I guess 10-point. But yeah, I had 4.5. You had 5. So that dragged it down a little bit. The bottom, so the top 10, like, we're not too far off. Like, none of those moved that many positions. Hotline Miami was the biggest jump, moving up 11 positions from 14 to 3. The bottom 10 are Gauntlet 7 Sorrows. This is going from 157 down to 166. Gauntlet 7 Sorrows, ESPN, X Games, Skateboarding, Cliffhanger, Halloween, Cool Spot, Killzone, Lifeline, Mortal Kombat Mythology, Sub-Zero, Blinks the Time Sweeper, and Superman, the New Superman Adventures. So all of those really only shifting around a couple of places. They all kind of stayed right at the bottom where they've been. Devil's Crush became the new number 98, where it was 125. Metal Gear hit 46 from 70. I already called those stats out, but I had those written down separate, so I'm reading them again. And there you have it. Any thoughts on the mathematic list?
No, I like that Bully, which would be the midway point on the new ranking, only moved by 1.
Oh yeah, Bully slides up a spot. And what is our previous 83? Quake 4. That's our regular. So, and Quake 4 ended up down at 100. A little bit of a shift, but not too much. All right. Moving away from messing with the list and doing math and science and who knows else what to it. Time for the heart, the list itself. So we're going to look at I kind of want to just start at the top of the schedule for the year, and I'm going to call out the games. If we've got something to say, great. If not, we move on. And then when we kind of get through the schedule, we'll look back at some of the stats that happened from the list. So our first game of the year was, and obviously we had some episodes in between these that were not always game specific. I'm just going to jump through the game episodes so we can give a moment to kind of talk about each. Metroid Other M was our first game of the year. I nominated this one knowing that this would be the year of Metroid. And I also knew that I was making you play Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest this year. So I was like, you know what? Simon's Quest is always considered the worst in the series. Other M is as well. Let's put those to the test and really see what we think. And as we talked about earlier, we both liked Other M a lot more than others would let you know. So go check that episode out, 592, if you want to hear more about Other M. Next up was Titanfall 2, which we haven't really talked about today, but that one was my second time through the campaign, your first time through the campaign. And that was your nominee to kick us off. Why did you want to set us off on Titanfall 2 top of the year? Do you remember?
I don't know why we put it early or not, to be completely honest with you. No, but I mean, that campaign was awesome. I wish I had played it sooner, but I got to it eventually. Little did I know of Inspire, a new studio to create a mid game later in the year. And then no, the multiplayer still holds up. And if you're
Yeah,
on Xbox with Game Pass, if you still can afford it, games are to be found there. You might
yeah,
get melted a little bit, but they're still
sure.
fun.
People are in that game.
Still
Yeah.
fun.
We kept the hits going the week after that with Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero. This was one I just kind of like knew about, but had never played. I remember like wanting to rent it, but it was always like sold out or I don't know. I got it. I'm not upset that we played it because now we know, but
I mean,
the disappointing thing for me when we put a game like that on the list is that it's almost like I don't even want to record the episode because I feel like I don't have much to say. And then I feel like it's just like we could have put a different, we could have spent better time. So that influenced me in terms of like what am I putting on season 14's list? Um you kept us rolling with another 90s hit, Power Slave Exhumed, which I was super surprised by. Had never heard of that game prior to you adding it to the list, and it ended up being really, really fun. I had a great time playing through that one.
yeah, it's a fun one. Yeah, and then Exhumed, I thought was the good pick instead of the original game because it takes the console ports from Saturn and PlayStation and combines them, which they did like a Metroidvania type of thing. It's not like a true
Mm-hmm.
Metrovania in your traditional aspect of that, but no, you kind of take parts from one end of a map in terms of stage selection, and then you bring that stage selection kind of back to your central hub. In that level, you use your new thing to get to new like wing of stages, and then yeah, you kind of go from there. No, it's a unique game, and it's one of those boomer shooters. It's one of them, but like Egyptian.
Yeah, different setting, different powers, different guns, weapons, etc. It's cool. We kept. I was going to say we kept up with first-person shooters, but we didn't. There's a third-person shooter. We played Anthem. I had a feeling that the servers were going to get shut down on this game, and I'd never played it, and I wanted to play it, so we did. And yeah, the servers are shutting down in like a month or 2 months, something like that. So get in while you can. Would you recommend it? Like now 9 months removed or whatever, 10 months.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to just fly around like Iron Man a little bit and shoot some stuff,
Yeah.
yeah, I would say you're not finding your Mass Effect story here. You're not really um
No.
it's like Destiny but third person in an Iron Man suit. Like I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. I wouldn't even recommend like completing the campaign. Like if you feel like crunched for time that the servers are going to shut off, like just play until you're bored of it or you feel like it's grindy or
That's
something. But
probably
it's fun.
the best thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially like if you do have Game Pass, it should be on Game Pass.
Yeah, like go have fun. Like I think it's like super cheap now to like with in-game currency that you easily earn to like get like a super crazy weapon
Yeah.
like on a random roll or whatever. Like I forgot how I obtained it, but I was with like in a shop within like the first few hours. I got a crazy weapon and like I had a lot of fun with it. Eh.
Oh, I think I did buy the deluxe version of that game. It was on Game Pass, but then I think the deluxe version of the game was like $2, and I was like, how could I not?
You did,
Because I was having a good time with it.
and then 2 weeks later it went for free, and then I picked it.
There you go. So, see if it's free. Yeah, but I think it's a good time. Um, Animal Crossing, we did a 4-part series on this. I thought that was an interesting experiment to sort of break up a game into 4 segments. Uh, little did I know, like we'd kind of end up doing that with Deus Ex later on, just by
Yeah,
happenstance.
yeah.
But um, yeah, Animal Crossing, like I don't hate the idea of splitting up an episode and doing like a 4-part series. But and that one is obviously the one to do it with, but we talked about that when we closed that out. Like it just didn't hit the same way after having played some other Animal Crossing games. Um, and that was the end of our winter. We kind of capped off each season with uh, an Animal Crossing episode. starting spring was Resident Evil 5, which you added to the list. Was this just keep the Resident Evil train going?
Kinda. I want a co-op. Then I knew like you
Right.
should play 5 co-op, and yeah, kind of keeping the train going. It's a fun co-op game. There are very
I had a great
frustrating.
time.
There are some very frustrating parts solo. Um, but no, hanging out with someone, not taking it too seriously, especially like on a
Yeah.
normal campaign playthrough. That's a pretty fun time.
Yeah. No, I had a good time playing that one. Um, and it led to playing something else later, which we'll touch on in December. Well, when we get through the schedule. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe we slipped in. We knew the Switch 2 was coming. I don't think we knew at this point that Mario Kart World was coming in March when we'd added this to the schedule, but
I don't think so. Sorry, excuse me. I don't think so.
no, we did because well, I don't know. We might have had the schedule set up before, but in February or whenever Nintendo officially announced the Switch 2 and said we'll tell you more in April, we did get a sneak peek at a Mario Kart game. So I think we knew this was our final send off. Plus, we were like playing a ton of Kart 8 uh, after Halo Infinite kind of soured.
Yeah.
Uh, Next up, speaking of Halo, we did Killzone to kind of see what was up with the Halo killer, and it turns out I know my Halo won. I'm gonna leave it at that and move on. You made your point earlier too, I think. Unless
It's just boring.
you
It's
have
just a boring
yeah.
trot of going from point A to point B and shooting stuff, and just nothing about it sticks out or is fun.
I wish they would do a full remake of it because I'd play it. I think they do a good job with modern sensibilities, but it was a tough
Yeah.
one to go back to. Unlike Return to Castle Wolfenstein, which I felt like was still approachable today. Definitely some like dated bits, but in terms of like level design, I think it worked well. It fit for me.
Yeah,
It
it's
was Raven, right?
no, this isn't Raven.
That wasn't Raven.
It's
No, they did the 2009 one.
yeah, I forgot the developer on this. It's not someone that sticks out.
Yeah.
But no, like the taking this property to 3D, I thought like it's a cool thing. I always like the settings in Wolfenstein, seeing how weird they go with it. Like this is like a game for this is a franchise that's like doesn't care like how weird it gets, and the weirder it gets, I think the more interesting the results can be. So
Yeah. Gray Matter was the developer on that one.
great matters, right?
Yeah. But go check that one out. Then we added our first Master System game to the list with Zillion, which was a fun time. We don't.
I like this game. I think it's probably like
Yeah.
one of the sleepers of the year.
Yeah. It was fun, and we watched a little bit of the anime too. That was tied
Oh
in. This was
right,
meant to
yeah,
be like,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, like Sega made a big push for this to be like a big transmedia thing back in the '80s that kind of never really fully hit maybe the way they intended, but I had a good time with that one. That one's 603 if you're looking to check out Zillion and the Master System. Next one, Dino Crisis 2, which
This game's a
you
jam.
added,
This game is a
and
fucking jam.
this had such a profound impact on like my brain for the rest of the year. Yeah, Dino Crisis 2 ruled. I had a great time with that game.
I've seen speed runs of that game, so I knew the gameplay was like very. It's not survival horror, and it's the first like action horror game kind of thing. And I could tell, I kind of got the sense of going into this that you thought it was like true survival horror, just like it's Dino Crisis 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I was excited to see how you would like this game, or if how you would receive it, I should say. No, this is a jam. It's fun. There's some
It
weird
was a
parts
great
like all
time.
these have, but
Sure,
they're
sure,
fun.
but
It's a fun game.
yeah, no, that one's worth checking out. We checked in with Flower, which, yeah, I don't think Flower hit as heavy or as like it wasn't as impactful as I remembered it being, but I still like it. Flower's great.
Yeah, it's one of those games. I think I said it at the time. It's like like in the world of each of these games, you're shooting something or you're competing or something like that. It's a nice refresher that like, oh yeah, video games an art. you know,
Yeah,
it's an art
yeah,
medium and
and
can
there's
be you can do kind of whatever you want with it. It's a fun little
yeah,
game.
thinking outside of the box in terms of gameplay and player input, etc. We checked out Simulacra, a fun little mobile horror game.
Yeah, yeah. I thought this would go more into like the found footage stuff when I originally put it on. I didn't know like what exactly it did. And not that I hated it, my
Yeah,
expectations just a little bit different, but a unique little experience that you can do in a sitting or two.
yeah, it was a good time. Harvester, a super rad, just 90s point and click adventure game that,
The last quarter of this game is fucking terrible to play on a gameplay level, but like
yes,
enjoy and exploring Harvest is fucking incredible.
yeah, it's really good. I really really liked it. I'm glad you put that on. That was a good time. We knew Doom: The Dark Ages was coming out, so we threw Doom 2016 up here to rank that one officially. It's always fun to revisit that game and get it.
Still holds up. Shocker.
Yeah, still solid. We did Brain Age, train your brain in minutes a day, keeping that DS fresh. Uh, what'd you think of this one?
I didn't stick with it as much as I should have, probably going into the episode, but no, this was it's a weird experiment. We kind of talked about the studies a little bit in the episode or whatever, but I do think it's a neat little thing that you do for like 15 minutes, if that, a day. Check in on it. You get all the Shriek stuff. Yeah, no, the mini games are fun. It's like a more grounded and educational WarioWare.
Yes, yeah, very much so. Like meant to, I don't know, train your brain. We kicked off summer with Geometry Wars Retro Evolved 2, which I had a really good time revisiting. And then I'm actually stoked. Have you seen Sectori?
No.
It's a new game from one of the developers at Housemark. It's Geometry Wars, but different. It looks
Okay.
really good. I've not played it yet, but I really want to play it, especially after us playing Geometry Wars earlier this year. So I would, yeah, Sectori check out. But Geometry Wars, super fun.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say also after last week when you say if I have ever heard of a game, I don't have that. No, what is it anymore? Now I'm like no, like just dead face. Like I know nothing about video games. Like I thought I did.
There's too many of them. Um,
Still thinking about Sea Dogs
uh,
though. Still living rent free in my head.
See, well, and yeah, and surfing H3O, I'm trying to sell what I can off of my body to pick up a copy or
A
a
surfboard.
surfboard controllers. Deus Ex, we played and ended up like learning partway through playing it that we needed a lot more
This
time with that
wasn't
game than
what.
we've allotted.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah. I mean, so like I think we go more into it in part two, which we record in or it gets released in
September.
September. But like this first episode is just a dive into like the first two levels, and then you
Hmm.
can see immediately how the game what you can and can't do, or like not necessarily the can't, what you can do is so polar opposite. And we got to
Oh yeah,
experience that and kind of figure that out live. So I think that's a fun episode to go back to listen to for if you want to get someone's first reaction of playing Deus Ex in 2025.
yeah,
But no, this game is incredible. It like I think the kind of like the main idea of what I said in that with that game is like, yeah, there's some walls that kind of keep you somewhat in bounds, but like do whatever you want within the boundaries and have fun.
yeah,
Um, and then just the fact that like it's so open and you can kind of just kill anyone at any time.
whatever. Yep.
It makes replayability crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's it's one of the greatest games. I struggle to think of a game that does it as well as they do it when trying to do these what's the model, something sim,
Immersive sim.
immersive sim. I
Yeah.
I struggle to think of something that does it equally as well.
So we had that episode 615 and 625 were both parts of that if you want to check those out. Superman was next, just in time for the hit movie of the summer. We checked out the notorious Nintendo 64 game to see just how bad it was, and better than I thought, because I thought it'd be like completely unplayable.
Okay,
Completely.
sure. Okay, yep.
But still pretty bad. Still at the bottom of the
I
list
don't
for a
know.
reason.
I mean, you say unplayable. Do you remember what happened when you were in a garage with 5
Yes,
enemies
I
and all
yeah.
5
I
frames
thought the
of?
whole thing was nothing.
Okay.
But yeah, wasn't
Um.
great.
Yeah, I guess the one redeeming quality for as bad as that good a game is, I thought the movie was that good. So I guess
Yes.
polar opposites.
There you go. Fair enough. Space Channel 5, we got our reporting on Dance Style, which was good. We got to meet Space
Space Michael.
and
Yep.
ooh la la. Endless Ocean, which you called out top of the episode as one where it was like, yeah, cool experiment. Happy they made it. I kind of still want to check out the one on Switch, especially now on Switch 2 to see if performance is better than what I saw on the Switch 1 stuff, but maybe not. Quake 4, this was Raven.
Yes.
Yeah. I had a good time with this one. I mean, this year you really dove into exploring the like kind of evolution of the first person shooter. So along the way, it made sense to pull in Quake 4, especially after taking a year off from Quake 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
We did not rank that one.
Yeah, id Tech. This is different. I would like temper some of your expectations. Going from
Yeah.
Quake or Quake 2 to this, but I think there's fun and some interesting segments to the game. I don't know why it takes a third of the game to kind of like, oh, you can move fast now for story purposes.
Yeah. I would have just done the story at the beginning, but I guess they wanted you to, yeah, whatever. Cosmology of Kyoto, you added to the list. An interesting, like, educational, like, encyclopedia visual novel horror game.
Yeah, I think this was the first game that got me to start my season 13 note when I like stumbled across it. Or if it wasn't that game, it's something that very close to the top. Yeah, I saw this. I think I said it on that episode, but I started watching that video, saw 5 minutes of it, and seeing some screens and the explanation of it, and I stopped watching it to put it on the list and have a somewhat fresh perspective going into the episode.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. Tokyo Extreme Racer 3. I added this before they announced a new Tokyo Extreme Racer, so I'm happy we got everything. But yeah, 3 was good until it wasn't, but I still had a great time with it. I'm glad you finally got to see the light.
Yeah, I may have spent more time trying to get something to work than it was actually worth it, but hey, I still have fun at the end of the day.
Yeah. Kudelka, another one that kind of really stuck out to me in setting a tone for the future. More on that later, but yeah, I liked that one. Just a cool RPG from the PS1.
Yeah, this is me trying to chase
no.
Parasite Eve as best I can.
We got close. Left 4 Dead, we checked in with in the fall, which I hadn't remembered or played in like a long time, if I ever did. I couldn't remember if I had played this and 2 or just 2. I don't know, but this was a fun couple evenings, mornings, whatever, just running through some of the campaigns. I think I left it installed too, so there's always the opportunity to.
I can't remember if I have it installed or not, but it's an easy download. But yeah, no, this is fun. Like I forget what they call it, the something director, the game director. Is that what they call the engine that randomizes? Like yeah, that randomizes the stuff so that way the enemy is not in the same spots and different spawns happen. And whatever.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that keeps it fresh.
That killed us, and then we'd reload, and it was.
Yeah, it keeps it fresh. Even like you just said, from checkpoint to checkpoint, it even keeps you on your toes.
We checked out an old From Software game, Otogi, Myth of Demons, which, yeah, I don't know.
It was fine.
I'm happy we saw it.
I didn't finish it, but it was fine from what I got through.
It. I'm glad we checked it out.
I
Published by Sega, developed by From.
The cool thing here
We should
is
give
you
it a
start
shot.
to see the level design, and I like how the level design, not so much like the settings themselves, but like the game design of each of these levels, like
Yeah,
it kept it fresh in different ways, and I think you start to see some of the DNA that comes out in their later more popular series.
I can see that. It was interesting. I'll say that much. D2, very interesting. You added that lovely Dreamcast piece. Loved that game. Had a great time with D2.
It's a weird.
Just
It's a weird game. It's a it's a weird game that tries to mix like 5 different genres of game
And they
to
work.
to varying
Kind of.
degrees. Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Rondo of Blood, you get to play for the first time. One of my favorites. That one ended up pretty high on the list for us. And then we moved into Blood. Super hard.
Hard as
first-person
nails.
Shooter.
Hard as
God.
nails.
Yeah, brutal.
It didn't get any easier the following week either.
No, Zombies Ate My Neighbors kept us on our toes to close out the horror games of October.
What was that? Stage 4?
Which
Did Jason
wasn't.
the Jason Chainsaw Maze?
Yeah, it wasn't far into it. It was
Yeah,
pretty
dude.
early and it
That game is brutal.
killed us. System Shock. I'm sorry, no, Monster Hunter Wilds was our next one up. One we added to the list because we knew kind of we were going to get there. This was your first big foray into Monster Hunter. How do you think it converted you, right? That's
Yeah,
fair to
dude.
say?
They're good games. Yeah, it's I see the formula and I see why it sticks and it lands with most people.
Yeah. Then we played System Shock, and I also see why this lands with some people. I
Yeah,
was not one of those people, but you really took to it.
Yeah, I didn't really know this going in. I mean, I kind of knew how some of the systems were, but I was like prepared for it, I guess. But playing it, I kind of was seeing, and I think I talked about it in the episode before we really kind of like reveal our feelings on it. Like, you're either gonna love this game, or you're gonna fucking hate it. And yeah, it led to probably one of the most divisive games between us, probably in the list ever.
Yeah, I don't remember one as divisive as that one.
Yeah, I don't. I was just I love the setting. I love the environment. I love the mood. I mean, the gunplay is not perfect, but I think that's by design because you're not really, your character is not supposed to be this murderous person. I dug it. I dug it all throughout.
That one was episode 635. If you want to check in with that, and then Suikoden was 636 the week after, and really took to that one. It's one of those ones where like you always hear so much about these games in this era and whatever, but like going back to it, it's like, yeah, it really is good. Had a good time with it. I still want to go back to 2 at some point. I've got my saves set aside, but I'm not like,
Yeah,
like there yet.
I think I said it on the episode. Like I think it's gonna be best for me on Switch.
Yeah.
And I'll just jump into 2 without this. Yeah, I'll be fine. It can't be that much of an impact. I'll look it up before I start.
No. Yeah. We did Resident Evil 6. After playing 5, we looked at kind of our schedule and we had some holes to fill still.
Did we put
And
6? Did we like talk about it? Well, no, sorry. 9's so heavily rumored at this point. This is before the Game Awards. And yeah.
Yeah.
That's how we got 6 on the list.
Yeah. 6 was just like we knew 9 was coming and it might make sense to do it. Or no. 6 happened after 9 was officially announced at Summer Game Fest, E3. And I think that was when we were looking, you were like, it might make sense to do 6 just to fill in the gaps of the story. I think that might have been, yeah.
All the gaps are filled in, right? No plot holes. You're not missing any information now, right? Because
No, I've been to
six
China and back. I know
six did
everything.
such a good job telling its story.
It did. Yes, it did. I liked 6 a lot. I had a
It's
great time with
fine.
6.
It's fine. It's a lot better co-op.
Yeah.
I remember more fondly, but I think it's because I played a co-op. Playing Ada
It's
by
another one of those
yourself.
things too, where I think like don't listen to what people tell you, us included. But like for years, everyone's talked about how bad that game is, how bad Other M is, and they are not. You know what I mean? Like they're still playable video games. Um, yeah, I don't know. Check them out. And then the final game of the year, the game of the year, Fighting Force for the PlayStation.
It's
Close
fine.
things out for
It's
us.
better than what I remembered. I thought I did not like that game.
Yeah, no,
It's
two's the
okay.
one you're thinking of. Two
Two
feels
is god awful, and I do not want. I will never curse you, making you
mm,
play that. And I hope it's a similar feeling going the other way, because I do not want to
yeah,
play two ever again.
no. So with that, with our schedule through season 13, we did add 3 new games to the top 10. Right now, our top 10 is from 10 up: WarioWare Incorporated Mega Micro Games, Pokemon Gold version, Pokemon Silver version at number 9, Halo Combat Evolved at 8, new for this year, Doom at number 7, Quake at 6, Castlevania Rondo of Blood joins the list at number 5, Deus Ex at number 4, a new addition, and then Untouched 321 Wii Sports, Tetris Effect Connected, and Super Mario Galaxy 2. Bottom of the list got a little bit of a shakeup as well. Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg almost out of it. Where last year it was just 6 places from the bottom, it's now at 157, just ready to peak up and get out. Followed by Lifeline with new additions Killzone and Sylvester Stallone's Cliffhanger. Halloween, Cool Spot, Paperboy 2, Blinks the Time Sweeper hanging out down there with new lows of Superman, the New Superman Adventures, and Mortal Kombat Mythologies. Sub-Zero rounding out the bottom 10.
Oh, we went. You saying cliffhanger reminded me. We talked about the games that we had scheduled as regular episodes, but we didn't talk about the games you did for live.
Yes, we did a lot of live streaming this year, and we added quite a few games to the list. Um, did you have
I
a favorite? Did you have a standout?
Batman Forever, naturally.
Yeah.
I talked to Musha quite kindly.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
did like Road
Musha was
Rash as
solid.
well. But something about I don't know, Musha grabbed my attention.
Yeah, I agree. Musha's a really solid game. Uh, I was surprised at Friday the 13th how approachable that did end up being.
Yeah.
Um, I'm surprised Cliffhanger is as low as it is because I don't remember it being that bad, but I guess it was pretty tough. Super Off Road was a good
You
time.
don't remember that Avalanche part then, do you?
Oh, I remember that. That sucked. Tasmania, I really liked.
Yes. Yeah.
I had a good time with Tasmania.
I'm glad
Yeah,
we
it was
sent
solid.
out the childhood of mine in a good way, because I think I've hinted at this at some of the streams. I've run out of stream type SNES games that we can
Yeah,
pull off in a sitting.
yeah, we gotta do some planning for that.
Or
But
we could add to the bottom 10. I have at least one. I
okay,
might have two.
I'm intrigued.
I don't want
Um,
you to play them.
we added between the podcast and our live streams, we added 46 games to the list this year.
Christ.
What was your favorite game we added?
Deus Ex by far.
By far.
And probably System Shock is probably number 2. It's probably
I
like
was split between two as well. Suikoden and Dino Crisis 2 were my two that I was like, I'm super stoked that I got to play these for the first time. Uh, It was, I mentioned it earlier, but Dino Crisis just had like such an impact on just where I wanted to go for next year, which we'll talk about in a second. But before we do, which game do you wish we hadn't added at all to the list?
Oh.
For me, Killzone was the answer, just because it was like,
Yeah, I was between. Yeah, like Mortal. I don't know. I mean, Mortal Kombat. Like, I just wanted so bad to be like, this isn't that bad of a game. But then you just keep playing it, and you're like, I'm better than this game, and the game just does everything to defeat you.
yeah,
Superman. It's there are severe problems with that game. It's not like a 0 out of 10 though. It's like a one and a
mm-hmm,
half out of 10.
mm-hmm.
It's not what was last week in the magazine? What was Batman Beyond
Oh,
the
like a
0.5?
1.5 or
No, it
no,
wasn't even
yeah,
a one,
point
it was a
five. You're
point
right.
0.5. Yeah,
Yeah,
it wasn't that 0.5. I think it's a 1.5. No, Killzone, I don't know. I think that's just the somehow, when we start talking about like expectations of games like Superman, I expected to be a 0 and it was better than a 0, so I guess that's a positive. But like
yeah.
Killzone, I was expecting like a somewhat decent. Like I knew it wasn't like the titular like first person shooter, but I expected like at least a 7 or 8 out of 10 kind of type of game, and it's just brown and
It didn't
boring.
hit. Yeah, it did not hit. Um, I think, yeah, I got a couple more questions before we close out. What I think I'm going to ask next is which recurring episode type do you feel like got better this year? The non-game episodes. Like, was there one that stuck out to you? Like, I think the 50% podcast this year was a fun time, just kind of checking in, and I think it's got me excited for what we're planning to do next year for similar stuff like that. Was there another like non-episode type, non-game episode that stuck out to you?
I did really like what we did last week with the magazine, especially like
Yeah,
the uh, the search part, the fuck the term.
Scavenger Hunt.
Yeah, scavenger. Thank you. Yeah, the
Yeah,
scavenger
yeah,
hunt part of that was fun. And then it's probably not the best audio listen, but we had to set up better in the video format because we had like some graphics to help it out to help you. But like the trivia dungeon episode that we did,
yeah.
where we had trivia set up. I think we hinted at it on the episode. I mean, obviously it's been a while since we recorded it. I think we hinted at it, but a lot of work and time went into getting that episode up and running.
Yeah, I forgot about all of that. It was a lot of stuff.
We went long on it because we had to just like we used up all the questions, so we would start from zero doing that again, and now we would know how daunting that task is. But yeah, coming up with all
Yeah,
the questions and the categories for a Jeopardy board was quite interesting.
it's a lot. Yeah, that was a 2.5 hour episode. Episode 606. Go check that one out because that was I thought it was a pretty fun time.
And again, if I'm not saying that we totally abandoned audio. I think it's a fine listen in audio, but I would go watch that one on YouTube. It's probably easier to
Yeah.
follow along.
Yeah, seeing the board like clear in real time and everything. That was yeah, solid. Solid time. I'd also shout out the we did the 25th anniversary of PlayStation 2. That was a fun visit. We did Games of the Century, which was a good time as well. Um, all right, couple closer questions for the list this year. What game or games taught you the most about building the list? Was there one or more that stuck out to you when you started to plan for season 14?
Got it. Um,
Even if it's what not to do. If you want a minute to think, I got answers loaded
load your answers because I honestly I've forgotten at this point what I put on for season 14. Let me look.
for 14. Yeah. For me, I mean, I've called out Suikoden and Dino Crisis 2 a couple of times here. For me, it was a reminder of how many unique and weird experiences were on the PlayStation. Suikoden and Dino Crisis were both big Konami and Capcom games. There's a ton that PlayStation published. If you go look at the Wikipedia page for like Sony Interactive Entertainment Publishing and look through like 97 to 2001, there's just like what would equate to pages of content versus like you look in the last 5 years of output and it's just they were doing so much. And that was just first party publishing, let alone how many other weird experiments and stuff. So it really directly led me next year out of the Matt and I each added 16 games to our schedule so far. We always kind of add some throughout the year, but in terms of what we're going in with, and I split mine down the middle, 8 non and 8 PS1 games. So I'm like going all in, really, really excited about that. And that is all when we played Dino Crisis 2, I was literally just like, I need more PS1 stuff. I missed out on so much. Like I need it.
All right, I have my answer, but you're not going to see it so much in next year's selection. I think two things to answer your question: Castlevania Rondo of Blood, because you finally broke the kill your baby in a sense kind of thing. Whereas like, all right, I think we're ready to kind of start. What we have Metal Gear Solid 2 on this list. That's just it hanging out in like the 70s and kills my heart a little bit every time I see it. What would we do? We threw like the first one on there or something like that.
Right.
So stuff like that. Again, you're not going to see that next year. But I kind of wanted to get. I know I explore FPS and it got a little FPS heavy, especially because you added like Killzone into that, which you didn't know what I was doing when we revealed these games.
Yeah.
I just I wanted to bring variety. And you might see some like third person games, but I think the third person games have enough gameplay variety where it doesn't feel the same either. So, chasing weird variety in what we play. Not to say there won't be like a first person shooter. Probably, I mean, it's probably always going to be a first person shooter, but there is only going to be like one maybe.
But you've got some. There's a couple of you added that I forgot about already that I'm like.
Yeah, no, I think I have good gameplay variety. I think I have like genre variety.
You got a ton of variety. Yeah. That one on Switch that we're gonna be playing is quite the variety.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess. Well, my other we might have already answered this, but I'll ask it anyway. So I kind of just like wanted to pull back and look less at the games and more at like why are we still doing this? What are we getting? What do you think you get out of this by like digging into these games and the way that we build the list? Because we'll talk next week about the state of the industry. We'll look at the consoles and where they're at and kind of what we've been playing that's contemporary. But so much for me that like makes this stuff still work is the fact that there's so many games left unexplored that we get to see week over week. And I do think that the more we've done this now, we're able to. I looked at my list from whatever. Obviously, next year half of my list is all PS1 stuff, but we're doing fewer and fewer newer games. Like I think I've got one that came out in the last couple of years. I don't think you have any.
I think the one you mentioned on Switch is kind of newer.
Oh, yeah. Technically, yeah. So we each have one that's like newish-ish, but everything else is like not even close. Yeah, I've got years in mind, and like I've got one from 2024, and then the newest one prior to that we both have is 2007. So a ways off. But yeah, I mean, like, what is it to you that stands out about like still doing this? Like, what's the draw to?
I think one, I just we're off the top. I just hanging out and talking about video games is a good excuse to do this. Like, this is awesome.
Yes.
I know you said about like, ugh, we wasted our time with Sub-Zero. Like, it is what it is. We're gonna talk about a bad game. No, I just kind of like being forced to play stuff that I wouldn't normally play. Even if I'm like challenging myself to put weird stuff onto the list, but then, you bring your stuff along and, some of it I expect, some of it It's like, oh, whoa, I didn't know that's a game. And then, recording the episode last week really broke my head open to I don't know anything about video games. I don't know. I know like 10% of video games. And Sea
Just
Dogs,
because of how
Sea
many there
Dogs
like.
is going to be like, season 15. And
Yeah.
um yeah, so it's just like chasing that stuff you just don't normally play cuz we talk about it, like go listen to the Pokemon episode. Pokemon not my jam, but like I respect it. I
Yeah.
just won't probably play it, although I say that and I contradict myself cuz I'm probably starting a Pokemon game next month. But
Oh yeah. Well,
um
different.
yeah. But no, I like the variety. I like it. This kind of forces me in a weird way to play stuff I wouldn't normally play, and gets my makes me explore things. And yeah, there's been plenty of examples of stuff I played that's inspired me to play other things, or put other
Yeah.
things onto the list because of that game or whatever. So
Yeah. I
yeah,
agree. Sorry. Got a Bam Risk coming through.
sick.
Yeah. Love that. Let's see if I can make it shut up. All right. There we go. Final thoughts on season 13.
This is I think we lived in some mountains. There was some valleys, some peaks.
Which I apologize for because
No, I mean the valleys are all
I
right.
know and I know, but I looked back at my uh like every not every, but I think in the last few seasons I've written out like a thesis statement for me, like what is my goal with this? And my goal for 2024 and season 13 was, or not 24, 25 is where we're at now. In 24 when I wrote this. My theme was duality. Look at the best and worst in franchises, find like the ups and downs. So I think we kind of inadvertently hit that. For
But I
better or
think
worse.
like I don't think there's anything wrong with chasing like the best and the worst in franchises and having the right perspective. It's the real deflating blows are like something exactly like Killzone, where it's you thought it
Yeah.
was going to be a lot better than what it was, and it just wasn't, and it's a drag to play through. Um,
Yeah.
like Mortal Kombat, I mean, we both kind of knew what that game was before we are going into it. Superman, we obviously both knew going into it, but like I'm trying to think. I don't think we had another like bad blow. Like I don't think Zombies Ate My Neighbors or and Blood are like bad games like Killzone is, but I think they were both a little deflating of like just like how the difficulty kind of hit you in the face a little bit. You kind of had to
Mm-hmm.
like reevaluate how you were approaching the game some. Um, well, I like System Shock. I certainly didn't intend for you to play a game you hated for hours on end. Um,
I
so
didn't think I would, but yeah, yeah. It
peaks and
was,
valleys, which you're always gonna have.
yeah, I think so. Do you think I feel like season 14, and we'll talk. You're only 2 weeks out from learning kind of the beginnings of what's coming. So we'll come back for episode 643 to kick off with this. But I feel like we've got some synergy happening there. Like both of our combined selections, like are more aligned.
we'll
It's
we'll talk about it, but we literally for the first time in doing this in a few years, we finally landed on a game
yeah,
both in our reveals.
yes,
So like there's like a figurative synergy and then literal synergy to an extent.
yeah. Because we don't for the listeners, like when we plot all this out, we don't know what the other one's adding to the list. So we're just as surprised as you are. I mean, we know now, right? But
Yeah, going into it,
we
yeah.
don't, yeah, because we schedule a couple months out. But like, um, yeah, we did not. This is all a surprise, and yeah, we had crossover. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a good time. They're always a good time. There's tons of games to play, and tons of games to talk about. So that was it for season 13, but it's not it for season 13. That was This was our episode looking at the games we added. Next week we've got the look back at 2025. So we'll talk about the games we did and did not play. We'll talk about some of the news from the year, check in with each of the platforms,
Yeah,
and close out the year.
you thought Steam, Sony, Nintendo, or Xbox had a hot year in review. We got you.
Oh yeah. Boom. Final thoughts on any of the games or the list or anything?
No, go listen if you haven't. If you see a game that you want to, you're like, oh, I know that game. What are their thoughts? Go listen. Go hang out. Go to our rank the games yourself. See where you
Yes, the
go.
freecheese.com/list
Email them,
voting.html.
and then email them over to us
Yes.
to get those
Yeah, I'm
results.
curious to see where people land.
Said
How
it's
different,
almost to
how
the point
varied.
of, like, me and you kind of know where we're gonna land with some stuff. I mean, there's obviously
Yeah,
outliers always, but like seeing someone that isn't living in this as much, or like
yeah,
it's always fun to see the outside perspective.
yeah. Does somebody have Tokyo Extreme Racer 3 at the top? Does somebody have Metal Gear Acid at the top? I
Does
don't
someone
know.
actually like Killzone?
Please tell us.
There's
Podcast
someone out there
freecheese.com.
because they made a few more of those games.
They made 4 of them, plus some PSP, or they did PSP and a Vita. Check out that trivia episode too. I forgot about that one to call out, but that was a good one. A lot, a lot went into that. Yeah, episode 606. That was solid. Until next week. Thank you, Matt. Thank you all for hanging out with us. We'll see you next time. Bye.